I got a Resonator on my Passat wagon, and the skin of it is held together with coat hangers, wired up, you know. It's falling apart. But it's basically, besides being a Resonator, it's a straight piece. So it'd be easy to just whack a piece of straight pipe into there, but I want to do something for myself, possibly the next guy, that I think would be really slick. Instead of just a straight pipe, cut the pipe about in half and stick a flange where the whole mess can bolt together, you know, so you got two halves of the pipe. So whichever half of the exhaust you're working on, you can take it apart. I mean, you'll be probably grinding the bolts, but whatever. But still, you can easily split it and you know, do what you got to do instead of trying to wrestle the whole damn thing out of its slip joints. Makes sense in my head, at least. It should get us roughly on center, because I can't use my center finder doodad on this. I'm going to take my dividers and put it to, you know, just about half the width of this circle that I laid down. And go like that. Pick another point, just any other point, whatever, you know, try to get it a good distance away from your original. Like that. That side actually leaves a cleaner line. So we'll go like that. And like that. And it's kind of hard to see, but just about where all those lines intersect, that's going to be your center. It's exhaust. It's going to be okay. Punch. Well, center punch. Scribe. This is made to take a whack and you resharpen it all the time. This is not. You don't whack on this. Whack on this. Put her as best we can, and like that. And a little smack. Beauty. We'll do the drill hole, or bolt holes too. Those are pretty easy to eyeball. Probably shouldn't be, well, I shouldn't be whacking on this drill press table like I am. Went a little off center. Let's see if I can correct it. Probably just make it worse, which I did. Whatever, we'll fix it in we'll fix it in post. There we go. Now for a drill, notice there's a couple of scars on this table, and I'm pretty sure I didn't do them. Yeah, I got this thing used, but I'd rather, whatever, if I did them or not, I'd rather not put any more. So I'm gonna crank her down a hair bit. Center up my bit. We're gonna crank her up a little bit. Go up a little bit, up and down, all around. If you're neither up nor down, you're nowhere to be found. All right. And we're gonna take some sacrificial bull crap junk wood, kind of stick under there. Underwear. Remember that old classic. And see if we can get a lock on this target. It looks like it. is. That's a hole. That's a hole. I'm gonna spare the rest of it, but it's working now. Yeah, nice little hot disc. All right. Let me get the rest of the crap done and we'll go from there, right? Hey, look at that sucker. That has seen seen a good time, huh? Now we're setting up with our starting bit, spotting bit. I don't know what you want to call it. That little stubby dude right there. It doesn't have flex to it so much. We're going to line the table a bit up. Let's frame. There we go. And line the table up. And as we do it, we'll make sure the bit centers in that hole in the table, and then everybody's happy, right? We're just going to poke the little holes. Where'd they go? Other side. Alright. This one I should be able to keep fair control over. Just hand holding it. I forget what you sent me, Zip, but no, I don't know, maybe 5-6 months back, and you packed it with an old bed sheet. Well, I soaked that sucker in oil, and that was covering my flathead engine for a while. Now it's covering my lathe. So thanks, brother. Let's see where we ended up. These three, they're not looking far off the money. Let's put the gasket underneath. I can see it is off a bit, but undersized bolts, slightly undersized bolts will take care of that. If we put it underneath, I don't know if you can see quite, but my big hole kind of shifted. But it's quite all right. I think. Wait a minute, what the frick am I doing? That ain't gonna quite squash in there, is it? Ain't gonna squash that ring, because that ring's sticking inside of the flange. Okay, I got a thing. I'll figure it out. I got a thing. Zippo, I am really digging this tripod. Oh, man. I should send you my old one so you know what I was dealing with. But believe me, that thing was miserable the day it came out of the factory, and the condition it's in now, holy crap. So you don't ever tighten these down with the tool. So hopefully that way you can just kind of smack them loose like that, and you just run them down by hand. It'll tighten up on its own. But if you tighten them down with the tool and it gets tighter, even with the tool, you're going to be fighting it. So don't use the tool to tighten them. Just tighten them by hand. Just like that. And have you ever seen what looks to be weld spatter on a car window? and chances are it could be a car window. But don't throw your grinder sparks at your car windows. That will embed into them. Absolutely, positively, I know it. Ask me how I know. Just buy a new one. Just buy a new one. I hear that all the time when I'm making the gauges for my flathead engine. Just buy moon gauges. Just buy it, just buy it, just buy it. I don't have freaking money to burn. I like making stuff. You know? Don't... I should just reply to all those just buy one guys. Well, just make one. Just make one. I don't want... This resonator is frickin' shot. And as far as I'm concerned, it's an unnecessary piece. It's adding more nonsense to an already frickin' overly convoluted vehicle. So... I'm going to build something that I like. And it'll probably be me working on the damn thing again, so if this ain't a good idea, you know, I got no one to blame but myself. The hole I bored is a little too big for the gasket. I sort of got a plan to hopefully overcome that. I'll hopefully be able to show you what I mean here in just a momentary. I'm not going to just stick my pipe in there and weld it flat. Oh boy, that's a heck of a gap. Well, whatever. That's the closest I got, so we got to make work, right? Got to make work. And so I scribed a little line. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I scribed a little line, you know, about that far down on both pipes. And we're gonna do our best, to hold that line as we stick these suckers fast. The gasket. Use the gasket as a tool. Oh, what a frickin' Mickey Mouse array. What a circus. That is... no. That's too much. That's not friggin' horrible there. We'll tack it. Alright, that's a tack. Straighten this up a bit. Now what I'm going to do, this little bit that's sticking out here, I'm going to take a hammer and flare that over this end of this flange. And that should take care of my crush gasket and probably make this a pretty strong joint too. Let's hope. Just tack it around. What the? Alright. That's looking fairly not horrible. We'll just go right around, on it. She'll work. You should be able to see what I'm up to here. And hopefully this will work out as I hope it will work out. It's looking rough, but okay. I think it's going to work out really nice. Lovely. See what I mean? It's not the greatest surface. But it's not bad. I like it. It's lovely. Alright, on its own, and I can see a little air gap in there, but if I had some heckish frickin' bolts on there, I could even draw that together, I think, without the gasket. Check the gasket on there. You see, in the gasket is going to lay over that flared part that I made. I might come over that again and try to smooth that up a little bit, but the gasket's going to lay into that flared part that I made, and that ought to crush and seal up in between those two suckers. That ought to be a pretty leak-proof and strong frickin' joint. It's actually not frickin' horribly misaligned. I should be able to put some pretty good, I don't know about 1/2-inch bolts, but maybe 5/16 bolts through there. Of course, the bolt is only going to be as strong as this crap, so you know, we'll see how it does. But I think 5/16 bolts through there would just line it up real nice. You know what I mean? Here's our assembly. I didn't reef the heck out of the bolts. There's still a little gap there, but that gasket seems like it's crushed fairly. I don't know, but those are, I don't know, 7/16 bolts. They're just some big suckers that I had from another project. I had to drill to 1/2 inch to even get them to clear, not to get them to line up, just to even get them to clear. So what they are, you know, whatever. But believe it or not, once I got them to clear even one hole, I didn't have to hog them out to get them to line up hardly. Well, not at all. They were. It's a little bit off, and the gasket wasn't quite drilled for these big of bolts, but it just kind of squeaked through there. And if we look down the end, I don't know, can you see? I hope you can kind of see something. That's not, don't look freaking horrible. That'll work. With them big bolts on there, that should either give you a half a chance to back them off should the time come, or really confound the guy that has to grind through them. Kind of sideways looking on, but here's our Resonator. Skin's held on with coat hangers. You got a slip joint here. It's not an exhaust clamp, it's a fairly regular slip joint, and then you got another up there, and I'm going to replace this whole thing with that piece that I made, and hopefully it goes off without too much of a hitch. think it's buzzing. I believe I got it. Look at that. It's actually got it. How about that? I'll put it up there in one piece. So if I know things get dumb, I can't get something apart, it'll come down in two. Later.